It's sad that we have to have an agency as large as we are. We take almost 300 or as many as 300 homeless people each and every night. And people say, well, how have you grown over the years? We have grown exponentially. Just 6, 7, 8 years ago, we were only sheltering as many as 150 people a night. Now it's 275, 280, 300, and there's no signs of anything slowing down. In fact, out on the streets with our mobile feeding unit, the Lifeline of Hope, we have more people we're feeding than ever. The lines are growing and growing. As we tape this part, it has been extremely hot today, 96 degrees, 98, 100 degrees. And one of my staff told me earlier by email, she said, as the heat gets hotter, of course she was talking from the hottest part of the day, about 2 p.m., 2:30. Seems like the hotter we are, the longer the lines get for the Lifeline of Hope. So we are sheltering as many as 300 people each and every night. Just 3 years ago, we were feeding about 10,000 meals a month. Then a good friend of our ministry, Victor Jury from Summit Electric, called me one day and he offered to buy us a mobile feeding unit, which became the Lifeline of Hope. That has increased the number of meals that we feed from 10,000 a month to as many as 16,000 a month. That is an exponential increase.
Numerous complaints by businesses about the homeless and loitering have resulted in the Albuquerque Police Department moving them from place to place. Homeless advocates say that doesn't help the problem and that real solutions are needed.
APDs, the officers are doing their jobs. I think I've gotten upset from time to time, and I've spent a lot of time talking to Dr. Reynolds about it. They're backed up against the wall as much as we are. But I just personally feel there's got to be a way to come to a level ground for these guys that can't get in anywhere. Joy Junction can only hold so many, the Rescue Mission can only hold so many, and they're not out there causing trouble. The men we just passed, they're not doing anything, they're not drinking, they're not drugging, they're trying to get some sleep on a piece of concrete. If they can get 2 or 3 hours sleep, I just don't see why there's no way to meet in the middle and just allow it to happen. If they're out there acting bad, or they've got liquor out there, and I realize that people live in this neighborhood, but they're not doing that. They're not doing anything vulgar as far as they don't have their girlfriends over there, they don't have anything going on. And I just don't understand why it can't just kind of be overlooked to some degree. I have 4 lunches and just 6-pack of water, I guess.
I think we would like to think that people become homeless because of economic reasons, but that's a secondary reason. What happens is, again, that people lose their homes. And they lose their homes often because of drug use, because of alcohol abuse, and then they slide into the depths of depression and they become homeless. So alcohol abuse, alcohol misuse and abuse, drug abuse, and also because of mental health issues, domestic violence, a whole array of reasons. Sometimes it's easy for people to paint the homeless with a broad brush and just to go, oh, they're homeless. We know there are as many different varieties of homeless people as there are varieties of people. It's hard to think, as we have also heard the sound of trucks going over above us. This is a pretty frequent hangout for the homeless. Even at almost 2 o'clock on a warm, humid morning, we're here. You can hear the sound of vehicles as I speak. It's hard to think somebody would live down here. As you sleep in your bed, you're probably enjoying the night, but just it's so hard to think somebody could live down here and call this home. But this is home, or has been home, for a number of homeless people in the Duke City. And that to me is awful. Of course, the reason that some homeless people come down here and they're willing to sleep with the sound of the vehicles roaring over them or roaring above them, is because this is an area where they're not likely to get beaten up, abused, or run off somewhere else by the police. We've already talked to people tonight who said they're going to do a round of the city streets. And here, at least they can sleep, sort of, while the trucks are going over above us. At least they have some measure of quiet. But again, it would just be awful to have to sleep down here and consider this home, in quotes.
As this man reflects on his life, maybe he's wondering if it's going to be the road to recovery or more of the same. While the choice may seem obvious, it's hard to get up when you're down. Those who don't make it to Joy Junction are faced with a potentially dangerous night. There are two worlds in Albuquerque. This world, our world, and the world of the homeless. The two worlds are not mutually exclusive. For the homeless to be helped, they must intersect.
We are a Christian faith-based outreach, and what we do is we share the love of Jesus Christ to those who come in. Our recovery program is faith-based. It is basically it's like a Jesus-ized version of AA, where we basically will tell people, we will tell people that come in, cooperate with caseworkers and case managers and doctors and psychiatrists and every other medical professional that's out there working for you and with you. But the very bedrock, the very cornerstone of what you do, before you do any of that, should be you need a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. So many of these folks that we help, they get in the predicament they are because they're looking for meaning in life. Well, life basically just gets too rough to exist. So they make excess use of alcohol, they use illegal drugs. Then, of course, they get addicted. And then that becomes a horrifying nightmare with no end in sight. And as the drug use begins to increase, the alcohol use begins to increase also. Then they go down and down and down. Maybe they lose a house, they lose a job, and again, they end up sleeping in just a place like this. So we really believe that people who make bad use of alcohol, who make illegal use of drugs, many of them are searching for meaning in life. They're searching for basically, they feel their life sucks. So they don't feel any purpose, any meaning in life. And so we say that by having a relationship with Jesus, by acknowledging what he has done for them, he will give them meaning in life. They can again become whole people. They can become well on the way to getting back on their feet and getting reintegrated into mainstream community life.
We see people that are sleeping. They're curled up wherever they choose to be on any given night. It was very powerful to us. We saw a row of people outside a downtown area here in Albuquerque, and there was one gentleman who asked me for a blanket. I went back to the van and I got a couple blankets, and there was a gentleman who wasn't saying anything. And I gently asked him, because it was probably 1:30 in the morning, if he would like a blanket as well, and he simply nodded. And he didn't say anything to me, and I could tell he was very standoffish. And I wanted to make light of the situation, to let him know we weren't there to hurt him. We are there to help him and comfort him in his stay on the concrete that night. So I asked him if I may spread the blanket over him and tuck him in. And I'm getting goosebumps right now recalling the moment. I got a smile out of him, which was, just amazing, because before he simply nodded. It was even a half a nod that he wanted a blanket.
He commissioned us to do it, but we need your help to go ahead and do it. You can give us a call right now, 505-217-9586, or maybe it's the middle of the night or late evening as you see this. You can go online to togetherwecan.joyjunction.org. The homeless need us and they need the Lord, but as we need him also, but we need you, because you and I are his hands and his feet here in Albuquerque. There will be homeless people that die, homeless people that are hungry, People that could have a chance of a real life will have it if you enable us to keep the lifeline of hope going around the city. We can only remain out there or out here as you enable us. So folks, we need you to help, so will you keep on sending us? Since 1986, you've allowed us to do this. We need you to keep on sending us for the next 25 years also. I have seen people going around downtown who are literally getting in trash cans, getting in dumpsters, and they are ravaging for food because they're hungry. People say, well, there's enough homeless agencies in downtown, they could be fed easily. Well, maybe. But how about their mental health plight as such? They don't know that. Maybe they think if an agency feeds them, maybe they're getting fed rats. Who knows what a mentally challenged, bipolar, schizophrenic person sees? It's easy for us to judge, but there's a very good saying, we should never judge a person, any person, unless we have walked in their shoes. So again, we are feeding hundreds of people. We're sheltering hundreds of people. But that's part one. Part two is to make the plight of the invisible people visible. And as such, because we're getting so many, the need to help so many more, we need to expand the aging buildings we have at Joy Junction. So we launched our Together We Can. TogetherWeCan.joyjunction.org. That's an $8 million expansion plan. We need your help, folks, to go ahead and do this. It will happen with Jesus' help because we believe He commissioned us to do it. But we need your help to go ahead and do it. You can give us a call right now, 505-217-9586, or maybe it's the middle of the night or late evening as you see this. You can go online to togetherwecan.joyjunction.org. The homeless need us and they need the Lord. But as we need Him also, but we need you because you and I are His hands and His feet here in Albuquerque. There will be homeless people that die, homeless people that are hungry, people that could have a chance of a real life. Will have it if you enable us to keep the lifeline of hope going around the city. If you enable us to continue our nighttime outreach. About midnight tonight, when our drivers will be going all around the city. Right now we're about full at Joy Junction. But tonight, one of our vans will leave after midnight, and that driver will have sack lunches and water, and she will go, or he will go, to many of the spots where the homeless will sleep around the city. She will go and maybe give them a Bible, give them an encouraging word, give them a prayer. If they're sleeping soundly, she obviously won't wake them up. But she knows all the nooks and crannies, all the spots where you and I wouldn't know. Our staff go, and that's something we do that's not known. I've personally been on those outreaches, and they're amazing because people are sleeping in areas where you would never dream. We want to make sure that they wake up in the morning comforted and encouraged, knowing that somebody cares. We can say that Jesus cares, but unless we're out there showing His love, we can say Jesus cares all we like, but it doesn't matter. Folks, we are out there. We can only remain out there or out here as you enable us. So folks, we need you to help, so will you keep on sending us? Since 1986, you've allowed us to do this. We need you to keep on sending us for the next 25 years also. Thank you for all you do. Please go online to togetherwecan.joyjunction.org and help us help more of these struggling souls who without the Lord's help and you and I could face the risk of dying.